amounts of money in their personal and spiritual growth. That's why the global personal development market is enormously and constantly growing. It was estimated to be $48.8 billion industry in 2024 last year as I shoot this. And it's projected to be over $67 billion by 2030. And it's because people are spending so much money on their personal and spiritual growth. But a lot of people hesitate to invest big bucks in themselves because they don't understand how their investment in personal and spiritual growth translates into a tangible return on investment, or ROI. I'm just going to stop for a second here and qualify that I'm not at home. You may hear sirens. You may hear drills and saws next door and the cicadas. So I'm in Houston shooting this. And I decided to come outside. The lighting's better. It's more pleasant. It's not so hot at the moment. But I can't promise that there won't be a lot of noises. And I apologize for that. Anyway, so why is it that people hesitate to invest all the money in themselves? It's clear that it seems difficult to quantify the benefits of improving your emotional and spiritual well-being. And so people don't want to spend the money because they're like, well, I don't see what the payoff will be, or I can't guarantee what the payoff will be, that I'll get an investment. Yet investing in yourself leads to a more fulfilling, balanced, and purpose-driven life. And it ultimately creates a ripple effect that impacts all areas of your experience. Personal and spiritual growth leads to the ability to reach your potential and achieve your goals, including those related to your finances, your health, your relationships, your career, your hobbies, everything. And their ROI can be seen and felt in every life arena. In fact, if there's any area you want to improve, working on yourself, as people like to say, is a way to create the change that you desire. So let's look specifically at the life-changing ROI, return on investment, that you might experience if you invest in your personal and spiritual growth. So the first is enhanced self-awareness. You gain a better understanding of your strengths, weaknesses, values, and even what you want and desire, right? And you know exactly where to focus your attention as you work towards transformation. Number two is improved emotional intelligence. You build empathy, which helps you navigate your interpersonal relationships more effectively. Plus, you become more conscious of your own emotional patterns and how they impact your interactions. Number three is you get better decision-making skills. When you when you develop a stronger sense of self and deeper self-knowledge, making decisions becomes easier. Plus, you make choices aligned with your core values. Number four is increased resiliency. Personal and spiritual growth work helps you develop the ability to bounce back from challenges and setbacks. You're more able to access your personal power and freedom, and to respond rather than react to circumstances. You also, number five, develop stronger relationships. When you make the effort to change your habits, mindset, and identity, your relationships improve. First, you develop more loving relationship with yourself. You learn self-love. Second, you cultivate deeper connections with other people, which enriches both personal and professional networks that you have. Number six is better health. Often, health reflects how you feel about yourself. As your self-esteem and self-worth grow, you want to take better care of yourself. It's just what happens. And you take the necessary actions to improve your health. And number seven is more happiness. When you improve yourself, you learn to allow in more joy. You're happier with yourself, and you know how to change your circumstances. So you're happier in general. Of course, your perspective on life changes, and you simply experience more joy. And number eight is higher levels of self-confidence. When you feel confident, you go for your dreams and goals. You don't allow self doubt to hold you back. Imagine what becomes possible for you if you confidently take forward action and you do that on a consistent basis. What becomes possible? Now, you might be wondering how to achieve such life improving results. And it's simple, really. Invest in yourself in the form of some type of spiritual growth tool or resource. To do that, I would suggest following these steps. Identify your growth areas. That's the first step. Identify your growth areas. You have to clarify exactly what areas of your life need improving, and then access or assess your emotional, your physical, and mental state, and evaluate your work and your living conditions and your relationships and health circumstances, all that stuff, and then highlight the areas where you want to grow. For example, you need to improve your communication skills or develop your leadership abilities or cultivate a spiritual practice or improve your ability to be demonstrative with your partner. Right? Okay, step number 2 is to invest time in your growth. Allocate time weekly to your personal and spiritual growth. Transformation doesn't tend to happen overnight. It can take some time. Sometimes it happens like this, but usually it takes a little bit of time. And so, putting time into this could mean reading books, it could mean taking online courses, it could mean attending workshops or working with a coach, or you could even join a group coaching program like my Inspired Creator community. And step number 3 is to apply what you learn. Incorporating what you learn is essential. You have to take what you learn and put it to use if you want to experience growth. You can't just learn, and never apply. Because change happens as you courageously take new actions and you see life from a different perspective and change who you're being, your identity. Step number 4 is to build a supportive community. Environment makes such a big difference. And Jim Rohn said you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Your friends and colleagues make a huge difference in who you are. They're part of your environment and they make a difference in who you're becoming. So surround yourself with people who also prioritize personal and spiritual growth. Join communities online or online forums, or enter a group coaching program, or try a local meetup. All of that can create a nurturing environment as you work on your personal growth. Now, how do you ensure that you actually get this ROI that I'm talking about? Well, there are times when somebody doesn't get the ROI on their personal and spiritual growth and on those efforts they're making. And the reason is simple. They don't take the 4 steps I just went through. So to get the most out of your personal and spiritual growth investment, you have to commit to playing full out. You just do. You have to commit to playing full out. And that means attending live sessions if you're in some kind of a group program, sharing honestly in those programs, or being honest with yourself, requesting coaching when you're in a coaching environment, and being coachable, which means hearing what's being said, and really looking at the blind spots that are being pointed out to you. Do any homework that's involved. If you're in a live group type of environment, watch replays if you have to miss sessions. Don't get behind in any of the coursework. Apply what you're learning, as I mentioned before, and use all the resources provided. Also, don't let circumstances get in the way of doing your personal growth work. You have to remain committed and find ways to continue learning and growing and applying despite any situations that threaten to pull you away from this endeavor of yours to grow. Okay. For instance, if you suddenly find yourself lacking enough time to attend your course or apply what you've learned, reprioritize. Prioritize your growth anyway. Schedule your growth activities like you would any important meeting, and don't allow yourself to miss them. Now, you might also find your motivation dwindling, and that's often a factor of your brain trying to stop you from changing, because the reptilian part of your brain doesn't like change. It sees it as scary and dangerous to you, and it'll do anything to keep you and your situation the same. If you don't, even if you don't like your situation or it isn't good for you, your brain is going to still tell you not to change. So you just need to know that and keep changing anyway, or go back to your program or reading your books or applying what you're learning. Um, Make yourself take action even if you don't feel motivated, and your level of motivation will actually increase. Also, track your consistent actions and habits, create measurable goals for yourself, and celebrate all your small achievements. Plus, connect with like minded people, be in a community, and that helps with your motivation as well. I want to talk about money because so many people let money stop them from their personal and spiritual growth. Investing in personal and spiritual growth is not just a financial decision, it's a choice to invest in a transformative journey for yourself. But many people feel the push to improve themselves, but balk at the cost of doing that. So imagine what becomes possible when you prioritize your well being and enhance your ability to fulfill your potential and realize your dreams. Those scenarios that you're imagining, remember I said imagine what becomes possible if you do that. Those scenarios would be worth almost any investment, right? That's how you want to live your life. That's the quality of your life. That's who you want to be. And you'd likely be willing to spend money on someone or something else, but you don't feel worthy of spending it on yourself. You don't love yourself enough to do that. But what happens if you keep investing in other things and other people and not in yourself? You already realize that everything remains the same, including you. If you want to change, invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Put your money into your personal and spiritual growth. Why? Because doing so pays dividends. There's an ROI in a multitude of ways, including some you may never have imagined. So let me ask you, are you investing in yourself and in your personal and spiritual growth? Are you getting an ROI on that? Are you doing the things I mentioned in this video? I'd love to know. Leave me a comment down below. And if you're new to me, I'm Nina Amir, the Inspiration to Creation Coach. I love helping people step into their power and freedom to create what really matters to them in a soul-aligned way, to follow their spiritual guidance and create what matters to them and what helps them fulfill their potential and be happier and more fulfilled. So I do that as both as a transformational coach and as a certified high performance coach, and through my community, the Inspired Creator Community, which opens about twice a year. And if you don't know me, I'm also an author and an author coach in addition to the personal and spiritual growth coaching I do. I offer personal and spiritual growth coaching that's holistic, that includes both your spiritual self and your human self, because that's who you are. You are human and spiritual. You're a spiritual being in a human body, so having a human experience. So I want to address all of that. And when you do that, when you begin creating in a soul aligned way, you live a life to feed your soul. And that's a very different quality of life. So if these are things you're interested in, or you're just stuck and you want to get unstuck, or you are feeling challenged and you want to learn how to overcome those challenges, reach out to me. Okay. So I'm going to put a link up above for a 15-minute chat, and we can get on a Zoom call and we can, or the phone, and we can talk for a little while and see if I can help you or if we're a good match to work together. I'm also going to put a link up above for 3 different ways to work with me so that you can explore the Inspired Creator Community, transformational coaching, and certified high performance coaching. So those links are up above, and I hope you'll click on them and that I'll find you on my calendar and get a chance to work with you. I'd be honored to work with you and help you live in your power and freedom as a creator, creating what matters to you, and in a more soul aligned manner so you have a life that feeds your soul. So click on the links above, and until I talk to you next time, go out there and achieve more inspired results.